they were very big on dancing music, the music written to dance. Just normal stuff, normal average people stuff. They had a vast strata of nobility, maybe that also contributed to this popular, not anti-elitist thing in the Spanish culture, this anti-elitist thing. Although some noblemen, some dukes and so on, the grandes, the huge magnates of their among the nobility, which were not numerous, of course, they were known as very proud and so on. They were they had like 2 lines of the family names and so on, and they were, when they were signing something and so on. And the Spanish aristocracy is still like that. But in the same time, this approach to music, it's not like some high mighty opera, but more dancing thing and more everyday stuff and so on. The same with food. They have some equivalent which is rare because for instance, when we have this popular culture of today, there's no equivalent when it comes to food to hamburger. Maybe the bratwurst in Germany and tapas, the snacks in Spain. For instance, these rings made of calamares, made of this I know, not octopus, but the relative of octopus. I don't know how it is in English. So those things are something which is an equivalent. So they have equivalent of the pop culture of the USA, which is rare. And they are also, when it comes to culture, supported by the America del Sur. And it's also a huge support because, and today we can perceive that Spanish culture is young, although they have the same problems and maybe even more problems when it comes to procreation. And this birth rate is very low and so on. So this is a problem, but in the same time they are reanimated by the huge influx from the America del Sur of people who are brought up in Spanish language. They are also supported by the people from Romania, which are learning Spanish very fast. And for instance, when there is many villages are like deserted because all the people went to look for work in Madrid or some other, or Valladolid or Cordoba or something like this. And those villages are empty, but they were repopulated by the Romanians, which are learning Spanish very fast. So this culture, maybe not by its own strength, but it remains living, and you can feel that it's a constant flow of new songs, of new dances, of new pictures, of new very strange movies and so on, of Almodovar and the others. Whereas, for instance, something we could compare to the Spanish culture, for instance, the Italian culture seems to be totally dominated by the past, totally dominated by the anni 60, the 1970s, and like nothing really worth mentioning was created after anni 60 and for the last 50 years. So this is also true when it comes to the people who are deciding about the administrative and organizational power in Spain. There is much complaining about the gerontocracy. All power is concentrated among very old officials, among very old bosses, people who are just old and not courageous in their decisions. So the youngsters, the young people from Italy are migrating for job to Spain very often, not because Spain has more job opportunities, which it has not, because there's a huge problem with worklessness in Spain, even more than in Italy, but the attitude towards young people is more friendly and more accepting and more opportunity giving and so on. This is also true. So the culture lives on, which is doubtful when it comes to many European countries today. Okay. Also, football and siesta, which are, of course, just observations and rightful and the right ones. And the language is pretty easy to learn. Yes, it is. Maybe except this subjuntivo thing, which is not used anyway.